Welcome to part 2 of my game-changing approach to comping series. Today, we'll explore a transformative method for jazz comping using dominant 7th chords. It works for keyboard instruments as well as for guitar. I know it might be controversial for some reason, but chords and scales are like two sides of the same musical coin. Play a 13th chord in root position and it spans just under an octave. This is called an open voicing. Squash the notes into one octave, creating a close voicing, and you have a scale. For dominant 7 chords, this scale is the Mixolydian. Hi jazz people, I'm Saul Richardson and welcome to Teaching Jazz. It's a pleasure to have you here. To start this lesson, you'll need the F Mixolydian scale over nearly 2 octaves. You'll also need this basic F7 shell voicing. I'm playing the root, major 3rd and the flat 7th. On guitar, it looks like this. The 3rd and the 7th, often known as guide tones, capture the essence of the chord. The main idea here is to extend the chord using notes from its associated scale, Mixolydian, to add variety and use voice leading to comp interactively. Interaction is crucial in jazz comping, but often overlooked in lessons. When you play chords in a jazz band, you interact with the other musicians and the tune in real time. It isn't random and it doesn't happen in isolation. I've already covered general comping for the rhythm section instruments in another video. The link is in the description. Exercise 1. Play the F7 shell voicing, root, 3rd and 7th. Notice how the 7th fits within the Mixolydian scale. Here's a sample guitar fingering. Exercise 2. Next, play the shell voicing and change the top note using Mixolydian notes, like this. Just like in my minor 7 comping video, it's a scale harmonized underneath with the basic chord. As we move up, it sounds best on guitar to retain some of the lower notes, playing 3 or 4 notes. On keyboard, leaving gaps between the notes is more practical. You can also try this with other chord shapes, like this familiar F7 pattern. The technique's just the same as in my minor chord comping video. Today I used the shell voicing just to show you something a little bit different. Feel free to experiment. This lesson isn't a complete guide. It's just me showing you that, hey, here's a thing that you can do. Our next step will be to practice this comping scale using this common, jazzy sounding rhythm. Practice the comping scale as much as you need. Some chords, like this one, might not sound pleasant. Don't like it? Leave it out. Want that abrasive sound? Well, use it. Next, practice comping by changing the top note melodically, like playing a simple solo with a chord underneath. Here's an example. Now you try with this backing track. Next, let's get some interaction happening. Hard to do in a video, but let's try it all the same. I'll improvise a 2-bar phrase, then you fill in the next 2 bars with a simple chordal fill. Here's an example. Okay, now your turn. Let's go. I wish I could hear you, but I bet it sounds great. If you use these techniques, you'll at least sound good. That's about the worst that you can expect. Now, as a bonus, here's more you can do. These shell voicings can sound a bit small. The solution is easy enough, but it takes just a bit more practice. Simply add more notes to the chords. Sometimes. You don't always need to. Use more notes from the F Mixolydian scale, and some alterations, flat 9, sharp 9, and sharp 11. Here's how. Near the end of that, I shifted to a different position with another F7 voicing. Try it with the backing tracks. If you think it needs an extra video to teach it in more detail, let me know in the comments. If you want to become a true comping master, like and subscribe. Then, watch this video next.